Monday edition of the Outkick Top 10. Okay? Here is what I believe is going to happen. Some of this is easy. Number 1 overall, Trevor Lawrence is going to go. I'm not even sure that we even make anybody make these picks in our Outkick mock draft because we know the number 1 overall pick is going to be Trevor Lawrence, and we know number 2 overall pick is going to be Zach Wilson. So basically, this is like getting points for writing your name at the top of a test when you were back in school in the day. So everybody's going to get at least 2 right in the mock draft. In the 3rd spot, we already hear a little bit of the Ian Rappaport news, the drama. In the 3rd spot, San Francisco 49ers. I think that the 49ers are going to take Mac Jones. All right? So 1, 2, and 3, I believe, are going to be quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones is going to go 3rd overall. Okay? In the 4 spot, I believe it is going to be Kyle Pitts. I think ultimately that Kyle Pitts is going to be the number 4 overall pick. 5th spot. I come back around on this one. The Cincinnati Bengals are picking in the 5th spot, and I just look and think about it from this perspective. If you're a head coach and you're a GM, and you just lost your franchise quarterback to a torn ACL, awful hit, and you go draft Jamar Chase at wide receiver, and you leave Penei Sewell, who could be an incredible building block offensive lineman, off of your team, and then your quarterback gets hurt again, I think you probably get fired. Because everybody will say, what kind of idiot were you? You could have gone and built an offensive line that gave up the 3rd most sacks through 10 games for a rookie quarterback going all the way back to 2007. First 10 games, we had more sacks going on for Joe Burrow than almost anybody else in the last 13 or 14 years of football. And the situation was so bad that he got knocked out with a serious knee injury. To his credit, it seems like he's worked hard. He's going to be back. He's going to be fine. That's why I think that the Bengals are ultimately going to go with Penei Sewell at number 5 overall. Okay? In the 6th spot, I think as a result, the Miami Dolphins are going to get Jamar Chase. And so I think Jamar Chase will be the first wide receiver off the board, and I think he will be playing with Tua Tagovailoa down in Miami. In the 7th spot, the Lions kind of in a tough spot, right? But I think ultimately the Lions may be interested in trading out. But I don't really want to be – like, I was loving mock drafts when guys predict trades because it's like, man, that's next level mock draft seriousness when you're, like, trying to make a trade. I'm going to say that the Lions stay where they are, and I think that the Lions are going to take – I think they're going to take Jalen Waddle. And that may be a little bit of a ridiculous reach, but I think that the Alabama wide receiver, look, they just lost Kenny Golladay. They went and they got Jared Goff. And at some point, they're going to have to put some talent around him. And so I think they are going to go with Jalen Waddle. Carolina Panthers at 8. I think the Carolina Panthers go and draft Justin Fields. And I'm a little bit apprehensive about this decision because that would mean that they would have Justin Fields, they would have Teddy Bridgewater, and they would have Sam Darnold. 3 first-round picks on the roster. That doesn't happen very often. But I feel like Matt Rule is going to have a roster that's a bit like college football, where you always have multiple 5-star quarterbacks. And if that happens, if Justin Fields goes 8, I think the Denver Broncos go Trey Lance at 9. And then I believe at 10, the Cowboys are going to go grab Patrick Surtain Jr., if you want me to pronounce it that way, who will actually be the first defensive player to come off the board. And if I'm correct about that, that would mean that the Giants probably would end up with Devontae Smith. That would be the 11th pick, though. How would you assess my top 10? What's a good over-under for top 10 to get because I feel really good about my first 4. I think anything can happen once you get into that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range.
Yeah, especially when you consider some of the potential trades that we might see come Thursday night.
Like, I would say the team that to me feels like they really desperately would like to get out of the first round is the Lions at 7. I think if this breaks like I'm expecting it to break, then I think that around 7 is where a team might try to make a move up to get to the Lions. Because I really do think that either the Bengals are going to go with Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase. And maybe the Dolphins would be interested in trading if Chase is not there. But I feel like Kyle Pitts is 4. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier. To me, there isn't that need to rush up to 4 and give up all that draft capital in order to get Justin Fields or Trey Lance, because I don't think there's any way the Bengals or the Falcons are going to go quarterback, and I certainly don't think the Dolphins are either. So there's no need to get to 4, 5, or 6. To me, the first place you would maybe have to move up to, and I'm not sure the Lions would have any interest in quarterback or not, but I think the earliest you could have to need to trade up to get one of those two guys if Mac Jones goes 3 is 7. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree. And there's one team that I'm really curious to see if they move up. It's the Patriots.
Yeah,
and I think you've mentioned that because, I mean, it'd be totally out of character for Bill Belichick to trade up early into the first round, get a quarterback. And if it's a guy, let's say, like Trey Lance, they've already got Cam Newton signed and ready to go for the year. If you had to handpick one quarterback to kind of mold Trey Lance, I feel like Cam would kind of be the perfect guy. They both have incredible size. They're both great athletes, and I feel like Cam would be kind of a great, ideal mentor type guy for a guy like Trey Lance.
That's an interesting idea. I mean, are you as much of a draft nerd as I am, Dub?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It really is like football
Christmas.
Nerd heaven.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's also like Christmas morning. Whoever your team is, it's so exciting to think about who they might draft. And when you get to, I love the clock, like in the corner of the screen, like watching it tick down, and you're sitting there and you're thinking about all the different directions they could potentially go. And I got to give the NFL credit. I think the idea of having a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but in particular the first round on a Thursday standing alone, it's just exhilaratingly awesome.